Hi, I'm Mudita. I look after the BFSI lending sector in Abacus. The banking sector plays a pivotal role in India's economy, holding a weight of nearly 37% in Nifty 50. This makes it one of the most influential sector and a sector which we cannot ignore it. India's banking system has 12 public sector banks which are holded by the central government, 21 private sector banks and 44 foreign banks operating within the country. Now let us understand the basic banking model and various parameters which we track to find which banks and NBFCs are attractive for us to invest. At its core, banking model is straightforward. Say you borrow money at 5% and you lend at 8%. So difference of 3% is what the net interest margin or your profitability index. The banks or NBFC borrow or raise money in form of equity, debt, or they can also take public deposits, which they utilize these funds to lend it towards secured sectors like our home loan, gold loan, vehicle loan, or unsecured loans like personal loan, consumer durables, credit card, etc. They lend loans to both individual as well as corporates. Over the long run, bank credit growth and deposit growth actually moves in line or slightly above the nominal GDP growth, depending on factors like financial penetration, monetary conditions, and credit policies. Several factors such as interest rate cycle, mix of deposits, and the composition of lending products directly influences a bank's margin, which can vary across institutions. Beyond interest income, bank also earn fee-based incomes through loan processing, third-party products, or other value-added services. When we talk about the expense for a bank or NBFC, generally, the major cost is the manpower cost or the bank operating cost like opening branches or tech expenses. So therefore, one of the crucial factors or parameters that we also track is the cost-income ratio or the cost-to-assets ratio. A lower ratio indicates a higher efficiency and higher operating leverage generally supports stronger ROAs. Adding together the NIM, the fee income and subtracting the OPEX, we get the pre-provision operating profit, which we also call as PPOP. Asset quality is an important parameter when it comes to lending business. It is often said that lending is easy but to recover is difficult. That is why risk management, the quality of credit underwriting, and the strength of collection process is absolutely critical when it comes to lenders. The quality of banks' assets can be assessed through GNPAs, that is gross non-performing asset, or net NPA, which is net non-performing assets. GNPA is sum of all those loans which have been overdue for more than 90 days. Every quarter, banks or NBFC set aside a certain portion of their profit in form of provisions. When these provisions are netted off against the GNPA, we get the net NPA. Historically, India's public sector banks have been struggled with high NPAs. It had reached a peak of around 14.5% in March 2018. However, with the RBI tightening norms and improving regulatory oversight, asset quality has improved significantly. By March 2025, the GNPA ratio for public sector banks had declined to a much heavier of 2.58%. And since then, we have seen a remarkable improvement demonstrating the effectiveness of stronger governance, better credit discipline, and more robust risk management practices. So when it comes to banking, we also see the return on assets and return on equity. So ROA is calculated as profit after tax divided by total assets and return on equity is profit after tax divided by total equity. Together, these indicates provide a comprehensive view of how efficiently and effectively a bank is deploying the resources. ROA and ROE could vary across different banks and NBFCs depending upon what the total product mix is. In conclusion, India's banking sector has transformed itself from a period of stress into a position of resilience and strength. With improved asset quality, efficient operations, and stronger regulatory frameworks, the sector is well positioned to support the country's economic growth in the years ahead. Currently, we have a positive view on the sector. A banking sector is a beneficiary of economic growth acceleration. Inflation is well within the tolerance limit, and RBI has announced various structural reforms and recently reduced the repo rate by 100 bps, which has boosted liquidity. We believe that margins for banks will be under pressure for Q2 as well because the deposit reprices with a lag. Post Q3, we should see a stable or an improving margin trajectory for most of the banks. Large banks trade at 2 to 2.5x adjusted book value, while the mid-sized banks trade somewhere around 0.8 to 1.5x adjusted book value. And on a relative basis, we just see this sector an attractive opportunity for an investment. We prefer larger PSUs over mid-sized PSUs and private over public sector banks. Besides banks, we also have positive view on select NBFCs, having good management, focused products, superior track record across business cycle, higher growth avenues, improving ROA, ROE, and which are trading at an attractive valuation. Thank you for watching.
All investments are subject to market risks. Please read all scheme-related documents carefully before investing. Performance and references to returns are indicative and does not guarantee any returns. Investor discretion is advised. This video is neither a general offer nor solicitation to avail the service of investment from the CB registered intermediary under the services offered by Abacus, nor is it an offer to sell or a generally solicit an offer to become an investor in the services offered by the Abacus. The delivery of this video at any time does not imply that information herein is correct as of any time subsequent to its date. The contents of this video are provisional and may be subject to change.